why are brands
Mhm.
not listening? And there's a reason for I'm asking the why. Because
Yeah.
when we work with financial brand marketing, sales, and leadership teams, we're seeing the same exact thing. And
Mhm.
I ask these marketing, sales, and leadership teams in some of the discovery work that we do, if you could define marketing in one word, how would you define marketing? And the patterns that come back tend to trend around communication, ads, emails, social media content,
Mhm.
brand. And I'm like, well, that is what I call the middle of the marketing, sales, leadership continuum. There's something that goes below the communication level. Like, to be a good communicator comes down to being a good listener.
Right.
However, when you're not just you're a great listener, you become a great communicator, whether you're talking marketing, sales, or leadership. The way I define marketing, and I'm working to transform the perspective of those even within marketing, within financial services, and particularly the leadership team to support the marketing team, is marketing in one word is defined as influence. And you
Mm.
influence through your communication, and your communication is then derived by your ability to listen to what
Yes.
the market is saying or not saying. And that is done by going all in, asking really good questions, listening to what they have to say, and then learning through observation. Because sometimes observation, you can learn more through observation than what people are saying, because what they say and what they do doesn't always line up. Why the
I would
gap?
agree with that. Well, I think first of all, if you think about who's influential in your life, remember you're at a party and the person that you look back and you say, wow, I had a really great conversation with them. I can promise you they asked you more questions and got you talking more,
Mm,
right? It's just human nature to want those conversations. And I think the problem is that brands continue to talk at their customers instead of with them,
mm,
right? This was actually covered in my first book, which was called Stop Marketing, Start Selling. Now, at the time, that was a really unpopular opinion, right? Because this is 15 years ago now, right? I think in time it's really proven true, however. Yeah, the most common concern with marketing a digital experience is that they continue to market once the consumer has reached the site. The
mm.
reality is that their marketing has already won. The consumer's at the website, right? Now it's time to switch to providing that best in class digital service for that customer. And that means you need to address the only two reasons that consumers are at your site. And over 15 plus years of optimizing sites, all types of brands, e-commerce, SaaS, banks. We've worked with a handful of banks helping them optimize for applications. The reality is that consumers are there to understand if you can help solve their pain or need. And if so, to convert into a lead or a customer as quickly and easily as possible so they can get on with their lives.
Yep.
Those are the only two reasons. And this often shows up is the principle of what I call negative intent shaming. Negative intent shaming is the practice of a company attempting to dissuade the customer from taking a particular action that the company doesn't want them to take. So think of it this way, like you go to an e-commerce site and you see that pop-up that hits you as soon as you get on the site and says, give me your email address for 10% off.
Mm.
And you're like, yeah, I don't even know if I want, why would I give you my email address? How do I know if you solve my pain or need? And then you go to close it and the button says, no, I don't like discounts.
It's so
Right? And
interesting you mentioned that, because you don't even know my needs, you don't know my pain.
mhm,
And that's one of the things when we facilitate website secret shopping studies for financial brands. The very first two questions that we're asking is, based upon what you see within the first second or two, do you feel
mhm,
like you can trust this organization? Because that's a binary, it's a one or a zero, it's a yes or no. The follow up directly to that is then, based upon what you see, experience, or feeling, how does it make you feel? Because
mm,
while yes, yeah, maybe I think I can trust them based upon some of the patterns that are on the page. I just don't know exactly how I feel about them yet. So you
mm,
start tracking, and all of what you're talking about, that pop up right there, that has the potential to subconsciously evoke more of a negative emotion, perhaps.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong with this, because I think
No.
emotions
You
play so, and particularly subconscious. I mean, 95% of our behavior runs at a subconscious level that we're not even aware of.
Oh, for sure.
And
I mean, and that's the over 50 of these psychological principles that are in behind the click. And what you're talking about is anchoring bias, which is the idea that people rely on that first piece of information that they encounter more than anything else.
yeah,
And so if you have that negative experience as soon as you get to the website, well, guess what? You have, as a brand, you have tainted the rest of that digital journey
yeah,
through that one action. And then there's also confirmation bias. If you think there's something maybe a little bit off about a brand, but you're going to go anyways, right? You're like,
hmm,
my neighbor told me they didn't really have a good experience at that bank, but man, they're everywhere. They're convenient for me. I might go sign up for an account there. But you get to the site and then it's confirmed by the way they treat you as a customer on their website by just continuing to market at you or whatever they might do to upset you. You have the tendency, psychologically, subconsciously, to give more weight to the information that aligns with that pre-existing belief.
yeah.